Knuckles was also a bad guy. Just to add on into that, Knuckles started off as Sonic and Knuckles in Sega Mega, and then he became good, I guess. Sega Mega. Like, what the fuck? Sega Mega Drive. Hello, my name is Keith and I'm joined by my gorgeous co-host Nisha. Welcome to the 4th episode of Press Any Button to Continue. This week we'll be pitting the good against evil, the protagonists against those who wish to squash and quell their hopes and dreams, the heroes who grew up playing and the villains who stood in our way. On today's episode we'll be taking a deep dive into our favorite retro video game good guys and bad guys and how they left a mark on our childhood experiences. So welcome on, Anisha, episode 4. How are we feeling today, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. Really looking forward to this one. I think this is a brilliant episode to be getting into.
We'll find out.
I'm already happy with it, man. It's only started. I'm already delighted.
It's done. End it.
Yeah,
there, man.
Right. I'll see you later.
Recording.
I'm good. How are you doing, man? How are you doing?
I am doing well. I do like the idea. So we have heroes versus villains in retro games. We're talking about the protagonists and antagonists that we grew up loving. I have some clever ones in my brain today. I'm excited to share with you. Okay, it's going to be juicy.
Yeah, love it.
And of course, thanks for everyone for listening to the first 3 episodes. Episode 4 is kind of like, I'm always like, are we still doing this? Do you know what I mean? It's kind of wild.
Oh, it's steady.
All right, will we kick on into it? Will we slay to the hay?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Do you want to go first?
I don't. No, you start away, man. I did the intro. You have to do work now.
Right. Well, why don't we go with one of the main ones, Mario and Bowser,
the classic of all classics.
Yeah, the classic.
Is the original Mario and Donkey Kong though? That's also the question.
Yeah. See that
he was the first evil boy.
Yeah, he was. When did he become good? When was he a good guy?
I don't know. I think basically, so Donkey Kong was just before we get into Bowser, Mario, obviously. So I think it was because, this just clicks with my head straight away. So Mario was called Jumpman, I think was his original title, wasn't it? And then that arcade game came out. That wasn't on home console originally, sure. It wasn't like it was an arcade machine and then the NES might have had a version of it or something.
It was. Originally came out in the arcade and then there was an NES version. There's a couple of NES versions. There's Donkey Kong 1, 2, I think Donkey Kong Jr. And then I think there's like a Mats game or something like that. Donkey Kong Jr. Mats. Maybe I'm talking shy here, but I think there is.
The best one of them all. Donkey Kong Jr. Mats, man. That's the one I remember personally. Imagine getting that at Christmas. It's like Donkey Kong Jr. Mats, baby. And you're like, they think I'm struggling in school and they got me a shit game. It's like, but fucking Donkey Kong, yeah. So I don't know. They were trying to definitely do like a King Kong element anyway. I think. Do you know what I mean? It was like, and Peach was up top like, save me. Yeah. And I don't know. Her sprite was deliciously hot. And I guess you're just jumping over barrels. That was kind of it.
Yeah, it's a terribly difficult game. Holy fuck, is that a difficult game?
I don't think I've ever I've definitely played it in iterations or something, but it's one of those games that I think even as a kid when I was looking, I was like, oh, this is just like, there wasn't enough in it for me. Do you know, after I died 3 times, like my attention span was kind of gone with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mario as like the original Nintendo mascot and hero, Mr. Jumpman himself.
Yeah, he's the ultimate kind of hero, isn't he? Even though he's like not very exciting if you think about it. Actually,
it's so strange. Like if you objectively look at it, like we're just so used to having Mario as like Nintendo's mascot, but he's an Italian. So these Japanese developers decided like we'll have an Italian plumber who doesn't plum. In like this red jumpsuit with a mustache and a giant nose. Do you know, it's like, when you compare it to something like Sonic, which we can get onto later, like, his design doesn't like scream like, what kid wants to be playing as like a 50-year-old Italian plumber? Do you know what I mean? It's kind of...
Well, hold on, I'm a plumber. Hold on a second. I'm a plumber.
Okay. That is true. Oh my God. Did we ever think that maybe Mario inspired you? That it was like, this is the dream job now,
loads of people have said that to me. Are you a plumber because of Mario? And you know what I say? Yes. Yes, I am.
The funny thing is I didn't know Mario was even a plumber for years. It was only until like the cartoon. I never even acknowledged that the green pipes were like plumbing pipes. Do you know what I mean? It never entered my head.
I never made that connection.
Did I just blow your mind?
How did I fucking never make that connection? Oh my god. Fucking hell.
Oh, some plumber you are, man. You can't even recognize a pipe.
Shit. Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was the first villain with Mario. A great game. There's a great Do you ever watch that documentary called The King of Kong? Actually, sorry, I'm getting kind of a bit sidetracked here.
No, you're okay.
It,
I don't think I have, but I'm assuming it's amazing.
It's about a guy. His name is Steve Weeby, and he's basically
Steve Weeb?
Yeah, man.
Do you know weeb is the term for someone who loves anime? You know,
really?
They're like,
Yeah.
you call him like a big weeb or something.
Oh,
So
I didn't
Steve
know that.
Weeb is
He's
is a
Mr.
good one.
Anime.
Go on anyway.
But he's basically trying to break the Donkey Kong world record, and it's really cool. So he's kind of battling out against this guy. He's quite notorious in the kind of gaming and arcade community. Fucking hell. Now his name's got Billy Mitchell.
So Steve Weeb and Billy Mitchell.
Yeah.
Like
And they're fighting it out, and they're like sending scores into
Don't be giving him too much credit now, man. Steve Weeb and Billy Mitchell will be starting their own podcast after hearing this. Now will be fucked.
But anyway, it's a deadly documentary. I absolutely love it. I remember actually watching it just as I was kind of getting into retro gaming, and I absolutely adored it. Like, I remember buying it on DVD and all. Great documentary. But sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Donkey Kong.
No. Sidetracks is good because it will link into something, right? Because we're kind of going a bit before Mario and Bowser in a timeline. Because I'm thinking of Pac-Man as well.
Oh yeah,
because
shit.
of
ghosts legging around after him.
Yeah. It was like, what was it, like Inky, Twinkie, Winky? I don't know.
Did they have names?
They did.
Shit,
I swear to God. Yeah.
Deadly.
So they were all the bad guys in it. But I'm thinking of them because they're the two arcade classics as well.
I never knew they had names.
Yeah. Look them up, man. Look them up.
Class.
They do. It's something like Pinky, Winky, Dipsy, Lala, Po. It's the Teletubbies. I don't know. I don't know, but it's some of them anyway. But so they were like the arcade original heroes. Yeah. But I think it was called Donkey Kong, right? There was nothing about Mario in the name for that one.
No, yeah, it was Donkey Kong. That was it. Like, I was actually reading something about how whatever movie studio had the rights to King Kong tried to sue Nintendo.
Really?
And like really put the pressure on them because Nintendo are making fucking a shitload of money.
Yeah, of course.
And they were like, yeah, we want to get in this action, so we're going to sue you and try and take money off you. But Nintendo ended up winning. That's how they kind of kept going. So what I read was that although the movie studio had made the movie or something, apparently they had never actually like bought the rights to King Kong or something like that. You know what I mean? Like the rights were still available, or the trademark or something.
Because in Japan, right, so they call those big monsters kaijus, which is like, so you're talking Godzilla, you're talking King Kong. They have like, there's all the kind of license for these kaijus, which is like giant monsters.
Yeah.
Do you know, even when you watch Power Rangers and stuff, there was always giant villains.
Yeah.
So like they were always like a thing. They were always like a very Japanese type of thing, like giant monsters to attack and stuff. So it's interesting, obviously, because King Kong would have been thing, Godzilla would have been thing, and then there was King Kong versus Godzilla, which were really old films. I think a lot of them are black and white, I think. So it's interesting how the formation of the very first heroes and villains came to be, even with that Japanese history interlayered into it, and they obviously maybe kind of robbed it.
Yeah.
The name Donkey Kong, though, it's a weird one.
It's like,
everyone's like, why isn't he a donkey? It's like, I'm looking down, Mario.
Where did you get the name Donkey, though? Actually, yeah, that's true.
I don't know. That confused me.
Do you know what else I was reading? Hold on, sorry. I'm getting excited now thinking about Donkey Kong.
No, I like excitement.
So they initially...
I'm so horny thinking about Donkey Kong.
Yes. So Nintendo were like trying to take over the world, and they released to some arcade game or something, and apparently it was shit. And in order to save money, they had to like rebrand all these arcade cabinets as Donkey Kong. So they were unsure of whoever was like, I can't remember your man's name, but the head of Nintendo of America was like, oh, this sounds shit. Like, this sounds like a terrible game, but we're going to have to take a gamble on it because it's all the money we have left to get all these arcade cabinets transferred over to Donkey Kong cabinets, and then just fucking get them out there and see how it goes. And then like, it's one of the best known games of all time. Like,
so Donkey Kong is like the pivotal moment in Nintendo history where it was a sink or swim moment, and they were like,
in Nintendo of America, as far as I know.
Okay.
No, I might be wrong, but that's kind of the gist of it. Yeah.
No, I like it though. I like it because also with the Pac-Man, wasn't there a guy as well who was a Pac-Man world record holder, and it turned out he was a big dirty cheater the whole time.
Yeah, he's in fucking the King of Kong. He's in that documentary.
Is he in that as well? They got the long hair, and he's like,
that's Billy Mitchell. That's Billy Mitchell.
Is that Billy Mitchell?
That's him with the fucking hair and the ties.
Oh, so he's the cheater.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Well,
there's a couple of them.
Confirmed, alleged cheater. He was confirmed to cheat, right? He was like, he took the record away from him, right?
Yeah.
I don't need Billy Mitchie getting on to me or whatever. Billy Mitchie, hey, it's me here, Billy Mitchie. The defamation case of Keith and Billy Mitchie. You never know, though. Might sell press any bun to continue into the stratosphere.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Right, sorry, yeah. Heroes and villains. Although
No,
he's
but
the
I'd
villain of
say
that
this is
documentary.
my favorite part, man.
Yeah.
He is. No, but you see, this is where you start thinking outside the box. This
Yeah.
is some of the things I'm thinking of later, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Billy Mitchell, Steve Weeb is the hero.
Yes.
Billy Mitchell is the villain.
There you go.
And there is always a movie. That's good, man. I like it.
Fucking hell, how did we get here?
But when we think about Mario and Bowser, man, like it's also weird because, you know, he is an Italian plumber and then Bowser is a fucking dinosaur lizard.
Dinosaur lizard thing, yeah.
We did not question anything growing up. We were like, no, this canon and continuity is a perfectly formed story. So he takes mushrooms, he goes down green pipes, which we've just established you will acknowledge as pipes now.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest villain really is the very first Goomba in that game, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. How many Marios has that Goomba killed? Millions?
I know, right?
Billions?
He's just cloned. He just comes out of the pipe. It's another Mario. He's like, oh my God, not again. The Goomba coming over. I don't know what is a Goomba?
It's supposed to be a little mushroom, I think. Something to do.
Oh yeah, okay. So he is the mushroom as well.
Yeah,
okay,
the
that's
evil,
fair enough.
the evil.
But then he eats some other mushrooms to get big.
Yeah. Maybe he's like pissed off
We've all
because the
done
Goombas
that, I
are trying to
suppose,
kill
in
him, so he's trying
The
to get one back.
college years, I suppose, you know.
Mario, the college years. I'd watch that TV show.
I would as well, because thinking about Mario and how I knew more about his character was from that fucking god-awful cartoon. At least I kind of remember it being god-awful cartoon.
Yeah, I tried to watch it. It was on Netflix there recently. I tried to watch it and I couldn't.
It's hard as well when you start putting a voice to someone so iconic of a hero as Mario.
Yeah.
Because he's in the show, he's so like, come on, Luigi, like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, this Mario's weird. You know?
I do remember there was like the Super Mario Super Show, and it wasn't like the cartoon, but it was two actors playing Mario and Luigi. I actually really liked that.
The live action one.
Yeah. No, I haven't watched it as an adult, but I've fond memories of watching it as a kid.
They're fairly grim. Like there's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones. There's some scary stuff like when you look back at it, I don't know how they made it. And there's like the Street Fighter movies, and that's actually probably a whole other conversation on TV show and movies based off those games. Yeah, and then Bowser. So like we have Mario and Bowser. Like I need to understand the fact that there was like how many ever people sitting in a room and like how.
I haven't a fucking clue, man. I don't know how they come up with these things. Like the whole whole concept, the whole Mario as a game, and even back then when there wasn't anything like that, it was all new. So it was just them with their creative genius.
I mean, you wonder like how lucky is it though? At the same time, how is he? He is the face of video games for the most part.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like if you're talking about the most well-known, like a person that embodies the hero character for video games, it's goddamn Mario.
Yeah.
And then Bowser is just like stealing Peach, you know? Peach is the damsel in distress, and Mario is like, you know, he's a simp. You know, he's just fucking.
He gets like, fucking nothing in the end. And she's like, here's a cake or something. She go on, see you later.
As we said, I don't know what episode we said it in, but it's just like he just gets 120 stars. He spends fucking 20 years of his plumbing life, finally gets it. It's like, Mario, thank you so much for all you've done. I must go now. And then suckles on his bulbous nose, and he's like, womp, womp, womp. It's just like, and then 5 seconds later, as Peach is frolicking down the road, Bowser grabs her again, and it's a new game. So it's a never-ending story.
Oh, fuck's sake, yeah.
But one that we never complain about. No, it is kind of interesting as well that games back then were a lot weirder. It's really weird that we don't question the characters now, but if a game like that came out now, we would because games now have, like, for the most part, have characters related to a story. Yeah. Where this was just a setup of, I'm sure they just probably wanted to design the sprites. So like, if you think about Mario's signature style, like when he was Jumpman, I'm sure they were like, okay, we have 2 color fucking pixels we can use, you know, make something. I'm sure like even the person in the character in someone's head who created him mightn't have been wearing dungarees, might have been something else. You never know, do you know?
Yeah, it is. It's interesting to get into character design. That's another one. I'm going to write that down with my imaginary pen here. That's another topic.
I can hear it. I love it.
That's some ASMR shit right there. Me scratching the table with my fake pen. Yeah. That's actually my thumb.
Sassy. Yeah, just keep doing that. I'll keep saying the word sassy in a voluptuous tone. Anyway, speaking of sassy characters, do we have any more thoughts on Mario or Bowser before I move on?
We could go on about Mario and Bowser so much because there's there's so many games and there's so many battles, and like you think about the different fights with Bowser at the end of each game. I don't know how many Mario games you've completed. Or you haven't played Mario 1, 2, or 3, have you?
Super Mario
The NES
Land
ones.
64 onwards. No. I was saying that the last day. I haven't really. I've played like some on the Game Boy Advance and kind of. I've played little bits, but not fully. No.
I'd highly recommend Super Mario Bros. 3. Like Super Mario
Oh,
Bros.
I
1 is...
I know that's your baby.
I love it so much.
Yeah,
but,
I love it.
Just a recommendation for yourself for whenever you're playing.
No, I really want to play it because like hearing you talking about it like so highly with such passion the last episode. Or
there's so many villains, cool villains in the Mario games. In the second one, he fights a guy called Wart. So you know the way the second one's totally different because the fucking
the Doki.
So he fights I think it's like a toad called Wart or something, but I don't know if he appears again. And then there's the Koopa kids in Super Mario Bros. 3. Then there's like fucking the Big Boo, and there's some of the Hammer Brothers. There's loads. Obviously Bowser's the main
and
one.
Do you know in Odyssey? Have you played Odyssey?
Yeah, I have, but the Switch.
Remember
one?
Though there was the Switch one. Do you remember there was all these characters? I'm wondering were they related to the previous Mario games? There was all these mini bosses. They were kind of almost like Bowser's kids kind of thing, but I'm not sure did they relate? Were they 3D renderings of them or not, or were they just separate characters?
I can't even I played that game, completed it, and enjoyed it, but I actually can't. All I can remember is that you throw your hat.
Yeah, Cappy.
I can't actually remember
the biggest villain of all villains, Cappy. But out of curiosity though, I would like to say in all the games that Mario and Bowser included in, which would be your favorite? Well, I probably know.
Well, no, it wouldn't be Super Mario Bros. 3 because
really?
I think Super Mario 64, because those Bowser levels in every in Super Mario 64 are fucking deadly, and that dark
I love
music
them as well, man. Yes,
like all that, and then spinning them around, yeah.
I was going to leave you keep talking there just to kind of give the atmosphere.
So you're running up the stairs. There's 8 red coins. You grab him by the tail, spin him around, and fuck him against the bomb.
Was that our first bit? Did we try and do a bit on a podcast there? It's beautiful.
I liked it.
Mario 64 for me as well. Mario 64 is just like, very quickly before we move on, like is my favorite Mario Bowser game. Cool. Because Bowser is such an omnipresent kind of force in that, because you're almost in, so you're in Peach's castle, but you know there's 3 levels of Bowser. He's like controlling the whole thing with the power stars. You know, you kind of get, there's all referrals to him by all the bosses you go with. Like watching speedruns of that game and stuff is amazing as well. But like that for me, I way preferred getting individual stars that were a bit momentous rather than getting 10 moons at a time in Odyssey. It kind of, it wasn't the same kind of, you know, I don't know.
I get you.
Okay. What else do we have on the list?
So we're after going with the most well-known, or 2 of the most well-known heroes and villains. I'm going to throw one actually that mightn't be as known, but I think the stories of this game, man. Now, big spoiler alert here for anyone who hasn't played. I don't know if you have Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which was on the Xbox original. I played it on the PC as a kid, but it was on the Xbox.
I have experiences of it. I actually don't know if it's even on my shelf. It might be, but tell me.
What a game. Right, spoiler alert.
Is this a twist? Is this a twist?
Fuck me, this is the twistiest twist you ever twisted in your fucking twisty life.
Bob it, twisted, fucking twisted.
So I'm thinking of you with a fucking bop it now, punching it and fisting it.
Yeah, the fisted part especially.
Oh, fuck's sake. Right, so Knights of the Old Republic, I'm pretty sure it was the first one. I played the first 2, but you're playing as this Jedi. You wake up and you have amnesia, and it's an RPG. It's a fucking great game. But you're going around and you're looking for this Sith Lord, because there's this Sith Lord who's collecting things and he's gonna, you know, destroy the place and stuff like that. So you go through the whole game and you can choose whether to be good or bad and stuff like that throughout the game. You're looking for this legendary Sith Lord, and you're going through and you're getting your memory back bit by bit. And then it gets to the end, and again, spoiler alert, because this was fucking huge for me. It turns out that you are the Sith Lord the whole time, and you were just, your fucking memory was wiped from something. And
it is like, fucking glorious.
Fuck me, that seriously blew my mind. I remember playing that. I was sitting, like, I had a PC set up underneath the stairs in my house, my ma's house, when I was a kid, and I was like, fuck fuck, I can't believe it's fucking, it was me the whole time. Did you know this?
It's
Did you ever hear about
crazy.
it? Yeah.
It's no, so like I know there's some of these, right? And I knew by when you were talking about it, because any game where you have amnesia,
Yeah.
it plays into that a lot with it, because these are some of the best twists in video games. I'm going to give you one or two more to match
Go,
them.
hit me.
While we're on the topic of it, right? Maybe not the most retro game in the world, but
Right.
I mean, you know, some people would think it is.
Right.
BioShock.
Oh yeah, you get away with that.
You get away with that, you knob. I have to fucking, what do we have to call this now? Like fucking insert your V-Bucks to continue stream or something. We're on the next level. Okay, but hear me out, right? BioShock, okay?
Yeah.
Again, amnesia, you wake up. Spoilers, obviously, again. But so have you played BioShock to finish?
No, I haven't.
Okay, there's the most genius plot device in this ever of a twist, right? It's a bit cliched with the amnesia stuff, right? But you're onto this Irish guy the whole time, right?
All right.
And he's guiding you through BioShock, which is an underwater, it's a city of rapture that's been completely taken over in 1950s aesthetic and all this, right? So you crash on a plane, you end up in the water, and you end up into this lighthouse, which will be the entrance into Rapture, which is an underground city, which is completely decimated, and everyone's a junkie in there. It's a whole thing. You're gaining back your memories as you go, and there's a guy in the thing. He's like, "Would you kindly do this?" Do you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, he's saying, just because he has this Irish accent, "Would you kindly go over there and fucking, you know, do whatever it is?"
Is he
on
actually Irish, or is he someone?
Yeah, you know, he's actually like Dublin-y, Irishy sounding kind of guy, right? And it turns out the whole time that you were doing all his bidding and his dirty work, and "would you kindly" was a key word that it hits into your brain, and you're automatically get controlled. So at the beginning of the game, like, "Would you kindly pick up the spanner?" And you know, you think you're just doing the tutorial and you're doing it, but it all plays back into the player.
Fucking way.
And it's fucking sick, man.
Deadly.
I fucking love that as well.
That sounds so cool.
Another one very
expect, like, fuck.
I know those twists, and I think particularly as well when it's done in games, because you're pushing the narrative along. So when you're thinking about hero and villains, right, when you're talking about a protagonist that you don't know really whether it's either, and you're the one who has to push that story along by controlling the character and doing the deeds, and then you're questioning your own, oh, I was doing this, and you realize I was just doing everything he told me, do you know? And it's a mind-blowing moment. Do you have any other ones off the top of your head when you think about ambiguous heroes and villains? Is there anything that pops up? I have one more, but I'm curious.
No, go on, hit me.
Shadow of the Colossus.
I've never played. This is about big giant things.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ! Again, Jesus Christ! I was fucking crying at the end of this game. I was only fucking like 12. So basically, very quickly, Shadow of the Colossus. You kind of you're told very little of those games. They give you nothing. Do you know, they're very atmospheric. Ico is the game before. I don't know if you played Ico either, but they're on the PlayStation 2.
Okay.
And you start off as this guy, and you're just bringing your dead girlfriend onto this tower, and he's like, "You must do this to restore her." Do you know what I mean? So he's like, "I'll do whatever I can to do it." So you have to go around this big open plain, and they want you to kill 12 giant monsters, slay them all. And you get there. When you get there, you realize that until you attack them, they don't attack you. You really don't know what's going on for a long period of time.
Right.
And to cut a long story short, basically, you finally kill the 12 giant bosses around the land, and the temple, the guy who speaks to you telepathically through the temple, turns out they were guardian seals that were protecting the land and this evil guy. So you were killing the good guys the whole time.
Fuck.
And you do manage to revive your girlfriend, but then, spoiler warnings, you get like sucked in and you die at the end as well with all the evil that goes into it. It's a really atmospheric,
and are you dead?
Game. You're dead. Well, there's a bit of a reincarnation rumor kind of about it, but it's very, very, very good.
That's something cool that I don't think I've ever played a game and you're fucking dead.
I kind of wish I didn't tell you, because I would love for you to experience it. Like, you can still totally enjoy that game regardless. But
I think I watched I think it was Jacksepticeye playing it, and it looks very cool. I like the imagery of the big, like, cloudy fucking stony thing, and it looks cool. Cool. But that's
Last Guardian, Ico, and Shadow of the Colossus are kind of like made by the same people in those games. But anyway, ambiguous. I can't believe we're fucking nearly half an hour in. This is fucking.
Well, hold on. Here's another one that you get swindled by as well. And I'm going back to the last episode. It's fucking Ocarina of Time, because doesn't Ganondorf let you get the 3 stones, bring them to the Temple of Light, and then you open the door and he's like, now you little fuck. Now I'm going to destroy the place. Isn't that what happens? Or am I fucking... Am I losing
No, you're probably
here?
right. Like, I'm a bit vague, but like, I remember for me just doing, you're doing all the oracles. No, what are they? What are they called?
The sages. You're getting the 7 sages.
Sorry.
But when you're young, Link, you have to go through the first 3 temples.
Yes. Sorry. So the fact that, like,
you put them on the yoke and you open the door, and then he gets. That's how he gets in to get the piece of the Triforce. There's another villain.
There's
Ganondorf,
another
all
villain.
his different iterations or whatever.
But Link and Ganondorf, like it's almost like it's a very like classic mythical kind of battle of kind of beast versus human.
Yeah,
It kind of brings back to almost like trying to think what other ones, like it does have elements of almost like a Lord of the Ringsy
It
kind
does,
of
yeah,
almost
yeah.
Hercules kind of. I don't know. There's a lot of that kind of
Yeah.
inspiration behind it.
And there's so many different. I like the way Ganondorf or Ganon or whatever is like totally different in all the different games. Like he's not just the same like.
Well, all the links are as well, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, true. But I
Yeah.
think he's different in like Link is Link is different, but Ganondorf or Ganon is like he's like a pig in one of them, and then he's.
Well, that's the difference between Ganondorf and Ganon, I think. So
Are they two?
Ganondorf, yeah, they're two separate. So Ganondorf. Okay, like I'm speaking with like very little kind of vague knowledge, but I know there's something to do with this.
Yeah.
So don't give out to me, okay? But Ganondorf, I think, is like Ganon is, I don't know. There's like Ganondorf. There's like I think that's kind of like the beast Ganon, and then there's Ganon, which is more the humanized version of it.
Right.
Because really interesting thing about all the links as well is that so Wind Waker is the very first Link. No, sorry, Skyward Sword is the original Link.
Right.
So there's the
It's
timeline of his. Yeah, so Skyward
right.
Sword is the very first like canonical Zelda. They tried to fit this together into the Zelda Encyclopedia book that I have. And then there's the idea, because Wind Waker's after Ocarina, when it's the time Wind Waker, so there's two dividing timelines then, right?
Yeah.
Where when in Ocarina time, if Link loses and Link wins. If he loses, so if he loses, it goes to Wind Waker. And I think if he wins, it goes to Twilight Princess or something. And then there's that, there's the hero's timeline in it. So then that's where do you ever play Twilight Princess?
I did. Really liked it.
So do you know when you're learning the moves by the skeleton guy?
I do remember learning moves, but I don't.
So when you're learning super moves, right, you go and you get trained by the skeleton guy in armor.
Right.
And that's Link from Ocarina of Time. That's Dead Link from Ocarina of Time.
Off.
Yeah. So he's the old hero of time. And he's even left-handed.
No
and he
way.
has a sword and everything. Yeah.
That's
really, really cool.
Fucking cool. I was actually you sent me a video on YouTube or something on YouTube. I remember the guy speedrunning and mining the data of Ocarina of Time to see all the cool shit that's in there. And then apparently, those fucking warriors that you fight, the lads with the big huge axes, and they were like Kokiri kids or that have been possessed or demons or something like that. Because I love those little lore elements. Yeah, pause it and spin the camera around, and you can see their face behind the mask or something like that. Now, it's something along those lines anyway. No, I know what you're saying. So yeah, the Link Ganon stuff is kind of like, and they are literally the story for them as a hero and villain is they're in an eternal, forever battle. Do you know what I mean? Like, so cool. Here's a good one. Very, very cool. Mario's cool. Sorry, I feel like it's a bit too harsh on Mario to start. I fucking love Mario. Right, I just want to put that out there. I'm sorry, Mario. I'm sorry, but Sonic the Hedgehog. What a cool character. Sonic is like the character as a kid. You're like, he's cool, and then as you get older, Mario is the person you relate to. Do you know what I mean? Because Sonic's all like, "How are we getting on? We want some chili dogs? Gotta come fast. So let's go, Tails." Do you know what I mean? It's all this kind of like fucking Sonic zooming around taking a shit kind of thing. Like, but Sonic. I think Sonic is one of the greatest character designs in any video game of all time. Yeah, like his IP, his creation. His games have obviously struggled throughout the years, but yeah. What do you think of Sonic? Sonic and Eggman or Dr. Robotnik. When I don't know when they switched. Remember, he was Eggman originally. Dr. Robotnik was, I think, like in the early games, and I think Eggman just became his nickname that persevered. But do you know Mr. Needlemouse was Sonic's original name when they first designed him? Yeah. They said I was reading that Console Wars book, and they talk about when your man's talking about when he got the fax over for the original design of Mr. Needlemouse, and it's like a hedgehog with like fangs and a spiky collar and an electric guitar, and his human girlfriend whose name was Madonna or something like that. And they're like, what the fuck is this? That is fucking gas, man. Yeah. It's it's funny how like imagine they just went with that and that was Sonic now. Legging around with a fucking electric guitar. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would have survived, to be honest. No. What was it, Needlemouse? Mr. Needlemouse. I don't think Mr. Needlemouse. Yeah, that wouldn't get me going. All right. Well, Sonic's a really cool hero, though. I absolutely love Sonic. I think his character design is flawless, and when you're talking about a minimalistic, simple design that conveys something good, because he's blue, he's the speed of blue. You know, he's the blue blur.
Do you know what I mean? He has the thing where he can roll up into a ball, being a hedgehog, can do the spin attack and stuff like that. Like all his moves are kind of naturally organic to his being and how his character is designed. Do you know, which is really, and the red shoes, man. I always wanted those shoes, man.
So
I think I had slippers of them as a kid, and I would just run around the place. Oh, dude, memory in my head. Oh my god. Okay, so I had an inflatable. Sounds like a wrong start.
Where are we going here?
An inflatable punching bag as a kid. You know, when those ones are a little bit weighted, you blow them up and you can just like knock into them and they kind of roll around. They're like a floppy dick thing. So I remember Buffy the Vampire Slayer coming on. It goes down, 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 and I have my Sonic the Hedgehog slippers on it. I would just run around the house like a dog in heat. Like just slapping that punching bag and running around. You know, like. I think, like, you know, my granny was looking after me or something, and the Tales of the Crypt would be. Do you remember Tales of the Crypt?
Yeah, I do. I do with that. No, yeah, with that skeleton thing, that fucking weird skeleton thing. Yeah. Oh, I couldn't watch anything scary when I was a kid. Even now, as an adult, I still can't.
He's like, "Hey, how you doing, Keith?" In my bed, and I'm like, "Ah!"
Just imagine your granny walking in, opening the door, looking at you, running around in circles, watching fucking vampires and punching his yoke because he's like,
I was hype, man. I had a picture of Sarah Michelle. Is it Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Yeah.
I had a poster of her in my room, man. Poster of her in my room. Oh, baby. I was definitely like 9, and I was like, yeah, this is here.
I don't know why, but I like
it. Sonic slippers, dressing gown, cup of tea, and Sarah Michelle Gellar up in the bed.
Oh man, do you know? I can remember a year when I was a kid in primary school. I used to go to my friend Sean's house, and used to do a lot of good PC gaming up in his house. Actually, he had some great PC games. But I can remember it was like reenacting. Like Buffy the Vampire fight scenes out the back. I loved it though. It was great. We had fucking loads of fun.
Dude, you know what? Speaking of that as well,
I
remember specifically I had Pokeballs with little Pokemon in them that I loved, and I remember, God, I think it's in like first class or something, so I was like 7, and I just watched the Saint Anne episode of Pokemon. You know where the ship sinks and it goes upside down?
Yeah.
In the anime, you know, they have the magic, and James got the golden magic carp ball or whatever it was, and it turned into a Gyarados. The whole thing. I remember reenacting that whole episode outside with my friend. I think Grace at the time she was, that we just came out like when we just. Because we were in fucking junior infants, senior infants together. And I was like just forcing her to play all the characters, go through the whole episode, man. Oh, so cringy. I love it. Or if playing Dragon Ball Z out in the yard with sticks, like to the point where you're like, someone's like, "Stop hitting me so hard!" You're just like whacking him with the stick. It's like, I will win when the play fight turns into a real fight.
I never got into Dragon Ball Z growing up. I never watched it, and it was only a couple of years ago. I was at college for my plumbing apprenticeship, and one of the guys there, Shane, was like telling me about he loves watching Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and he's like, you should definitely watch it, it's a great show. And I like binged watched all the original Dragon Ball from like the 1980s.
Impressive, man.
Like over 100 episodes to get up to like Dragon Ball Z. There's possibly a couple of hundred. And
there's like 300-400 of Dragon Ball Z.
Absolutely, what a great
dude, have you not watched Dragon Ball Z?
I've watched a couple of episodes of Dragon Ball Z, but I haven't.
Then an idea, we need to do a reaction series of you watching those episodes.
Cool.
I need to see you, because Dragon Ball Z. I'm aware. No, we really got to get back onto heroes and villains. I'm the villain of my own story. It's fine. Dragon Ball Z is something that's left is one of the biggest impacts of my life in terms of, it's the reason I like anime. It's the large reason why I like games and the style. It's the reason I started drawing. It's the reason I've done so many different aspects, you know. So you can link that to different things. But anyway, what we're done with Sonic and Eggman.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah. Sonic.
We got a long list to go.
I have like fucking loads to talk about here. Sonic's cool. Sonic's cool. Robotnik is cool. I love Jim Carrey, by the way, in the movie.
He was great. He was great.
He was dead.
I really don't like Sonic's live action friend though. He creeps me out a little bit.
James Marsden, the cop.
I don't know. I just feel like he shouldn't be there. I just wish he wasn't there. Okay.
All right. But you know, I thought the movie was good. I haven't
seen the second one.
All right. Well, the first one, I really liked the first one, and I love Jim Carrey as Dr. Bonnie.
No, I thought as a video game adaptation movie is one of the most successful, and thank God they changed Sonic's design from that weird
was that real?
live action.
Was that real?
Yeah.
Were they actually going to do that? I don't know. I don't know, because it was
it
fucking diabolical.
It was ultimately the best publicity stunt as well, man, because
Yeah.
that gained so much attention.
It did.
So much attention.
Yeah.
Also,
he was in
speaking
a
of
movie.
Sonic,
He was in a movie, that ugly Sonic they called him. He was in a fuck. I watched the film.
he was at the end of yeah, it was like an extra piece at the end of some fucking Marvel movie or something, was it?
Yeah. It was pretty funny. But sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Knuckles was also a bad guy. Just to add on into that, Knuckles started off as Sonic and Knuckles and Sega Mega, and then he became good, I guess. Sega Mega. What the fuck? Sega Mega Drive. The Ultra Sega Mega.
Fucking Sega Mega. Sorry, man. I don't know. So I was trying to let that go and try not to laugh.
I know, but I knew when it came out of my own mouth, I was kind of waiting for like, well, this is not what my brain was trying to transcribe to my mouth. You know?
Oh fucking hell!
Okay, can we have a new meme, please? If anyone can put a picture of me with the Sega Mega, that would be great. Just anything that's really good in life. I just want a picture of me going Sega Mega. You know, you're like, how was the concert this weekend?
Sega Mega. That could pick up like Sega Mega. I like that. I'm gonna use it.
I mean, we're probably gonna want to take our first ourselves.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
No, sorry.
What we got? Oh, quickly though, if
go.
anyone hasn't listened to Eggman by Crush 40 from the Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack, it's one of the greatest bops of all time, one of the greatest villain songs and music of all time. It's butt rock, but it goes like, I am the Eggman, that's what I am, and it's all got the butt rock on it, and it's amazing. Check it out.
Yes, yeah, I like the sound of that. I'll have to check it out. I don't think I've heard it myself, to be honest.
Oh no, I'll send it on to you after this. Nice. It will be in your playlist to listen to forever and always.
Right, heroes and villains. We're really staying on the path here, but fuck it, it's grand.
We should call. We need a new title: "Heroes and Villains that we do not talk about." Like basically, I don't know. Yeah. On today's stream, we do not talk about heroes and villains. Everything else is free reign, though. We do it by what we don't talk about. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're doing great. I'm loving it.
Here's a good one. Now it's obviously a TV show with the video games. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES, and then you're fighting Shredder, Bebop, Rocksteady, fucking Krang, and the Metrazone. Is that what it's called? You know the big ball ship thing he has.
Yeah. The thing that was also the Megazord in Power Rangers. The head in a glass cage, right?
Yeah. Well, like, fucking, did you ever play Turtles on the NES? There's a couple of them, like.
No.
All right. So for the next game. But you know Turtles, man. You know fucking Teenage Mutant.
No, I do. And they recently made a new one. That's on Xbox Game Pass. That's
Shredder's Revenge.
Everyone love it. It's supposed to be amazing.
It's like the classic arcade Turtles. Looks really, really good.
I just realized we need to take down an idea of music. We need to do a music episode because I'm thinking about Teenage Mutant. Yeah, there you go. Keep writing.
Sassy.
Press any button to continue. Rate 5 stars. Okay, it's perfect. That was some ASMR there. Yeah. So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There was also Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles because in Ireland we weren't allowed to call them ninjas because...
for fuck's sake. Yeah.
But yeah, Shredder, Pizza, Raphael is cool but cruel. Give me a break. Oh. Michelangelo is a party dude. Yeah. You know? Poetic readings of the theme song as well.
But the Turtles, man. Do you know what actually I saw popped up? I saw someone post a picture and it was like from an old ad from the Argos catalogue, and it was of like a Turtles tent, like just a little tent, and I can remember having one as a kid, and it was like one, it's not one you'd sleep in outside, it's like an indoor tent, but it was just the nostalgia, man, and the old costumes and stuff like from the Turtles and the figures. Like I can remember playing with the figures, and I remember I had a Leonardo figure, and me and my friend John were playing, and you know the way you used to just play like in the bushes. You just go and find a good bush, a good hedge. Sorry, should I say?
I actually remember having a fight with someone over a bush one time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, me and my friend. There was this bush in Fitchell's Park in Cork City. Yeah, and me and my friend Richard, who's fucking all stories go back to Richard. We were going into this bush and there was two girls in there. We got afraid. She was like, "This is our territory. Fuck off!" And we were like, Oh God!
No way! Oh, for fuck's
Yeah.
sake! Yeah,
But
but
you were
that's
playing in the
decent.
bush with Leonardo,
And I
Leonardo the
lost. I
painter.
lost the swords. I lost the fucking swords, and I can remember looking for them for
Oh
ages and ages and ages.
no! I
Never
hate
found them.
that with
Never found them.
toys and
Never
stuff
found
when
them.
you lose their accessories and
Yeah.
they're gone forever and they're just incomplete to you
But
then.
I actually found my mom was great for holding on to like my toys and stuff as a kid. So I was up. Well, I got a video machine recently, a VHS player, and I was up in the attic looking for old videos, and I found a bag of toys that she had kept, and in it was, I can't remember what turtle it was, but one of the original turtle toys from from the early 90s, from when I was a kid, was still in there, and I had
I
the
like
belt.
turtles.
I had the belt. I like turtles. What is that? Big Daddy?
That's that kid. That's just a kid with like being interviewed with like just a face
Oh, right.
painted, and he's just like, it's like, how are you getting on today? He's like, I like turtles, which was probably you
Yeah,
in your
that probably
bush.
was me. Probably was me. But I found the figure that I thought that was pretty cool. But the Turtles and Shredder, great heroes. I think
Mm.
Shredder's just a cool looking villain. Like, he
Shredder's
looks badass.
Yeah,
You know,
Shredder's
the
like a
mask and the
Wolverine-esque
fucking
kind of thing.
yeah,
He
yeah,
almost
yeah,
has kind of like ninja armor on, kind
yeah,
of,
yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah.
He's cool
No,
as
and I
fuck.
mean the design of them is great. Like those cartoons, man, nail so many aspects of it. You know, they
Yeah.
come up with like this really wacky idea. The character designs were always extremely unique.
Mm.
Like a lot of things, like nothing's ever original, and I'm a firm believer that like everything borrows from everything. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how far down you go with something. Nothing's like generally completely original. But like though, then back then there was so many unique ideas for stuff that was fucking amazing.
Yeah, deadly.
I have a serious one.
Okay. Yeah.
That refers back to a previous episode.
Cool.
Winston the Butler in Tomb Raider.
Why he's the
biggest
villain?
ninja, man. He's the villain of my game for me growing up. It doesn't matter if he's not objectively the villain. Subjectively to me, traumatized me, gave me nightmares. And the thought of an old man rattling towards me in the middle of the night will forever haunt my dreams.
So he did rattle those fucking cups of tea, did he?
Maybe, yeah, I lied to you.
You motherfucker. You're the villain of this podcast, you motherfucker.
I am. That is true. I like that. Okay, but that was a little bit of a joke one. However,
Right.
very quickly as
Yeah.
well to another one we
Yeah.
mentioned previously. I'm just going to kind of go through a few maybe
Go
quickly.
for it.
Is Red?
Yes.
Oh no, Red. Okay, it depends how you look at this, right?
Right.
Are we talking about Silver versus Red, if you want to call it that?
Okay.
I wouldn't say like a villain, but obviously you're talking about rivals, you're talking about your opponents, right? So do you know at the end of Crystal, the way Red is your ultimate opponent that comes back in.
Oh,
So the
yeah.
idea, right, of playing as the hero in one game and then playing as a new hero in the other game, facing you in the old one, is such an emotional, weird connection, bringing it together.
That was
Do you know?
Good. It was so good. Like, because I think I might have said that I'd only played Crystal for the first time about 2 years ago. I'd never gone past Gen 1 with Pokemon. I played Red, Blue, and Yellow countless times. I'd never gone past Gen 1 and decided to play it. And then when I heard that you go back through Kanto and you get to fight Red, I was like, I have to do it all now. I have to get there.
Yeah.
And he was hard as fuck to beat as well. Holy shit.
And I'm trying to think of those games that like, geniusly do that, where like you're the hero in one game. I know he's not exactly the villain, but I'm going to just jump forward for a very hot second, very briefly, and heavy spoiler warnings for The Last of Us, like give it a 5-second gap. Very quickly. So like, you're playing as Joel in the first Last of Us. And like he ends up ultimately becoming the villain of the second one for someone else's story, so it's like
shit, yeah.
it really is. So like, between the two games, that for me, thinking like where you play as a character in the first game and then ultimately like, you get your heart broken in the second one with them, and they're like, I won't go into too much detail, but that just like hits my mind there.
Fuck, I played The Last of Us 2, and that character arc with, I won't say who, but the girl who you think is a bastard. And then it spins around.
And then you walk a mile in her shoes.
Fuck.
I think it's one of the most expertly crafted game. It got so much hate because I think life imitates art, and I think people who were heartbroken about what happened in the game. It got like people death threats. The whole team and actors got death threats for days. Police had to be called. There was like people going out there like, because like they all review bombed it. They all gave it 0 out of 10. On the user scores. I thought it's my top 5 games of all time. It's the only game I was emotionally broken from it, but for me that's art. I felt something so powerful from it, and I was so heartbroken. And then you feel so much anger, but I felt anger because I like the game was doing such a brilliant job of engrossing me in that. And then I think what happened is in the real world, people don't know how to control their emotions and their anger. So they end up going down, that kind of route of let's fucking threaten the developers. Do you know what I mean? Crazy. Anyway, sorry, I don't want to go down that route, but it was just a quick one that reminds me of that when you're talking about heroes and villains and that transition. It's pretty amazing.
There's quite a few of villains that become the heroes. Like think about Mewtwo. We were talking about this. This is one thing that jumped up when we were thinking about this episode was Mewtwo. Well, in the movie specifically, in the first Pokemon movie, like how Mewtwo is a total badass and wants to destroy everyone and doesn't realize, and then Mew comes in and Ash, and he sees that Pokemon are good, and it's like, and then Mewtwo totally turns it around and everyone loves Mewtwo. Well, I love
and everyone's like,
what, Mewtwo? Yeah. I think Mewtwo is deadly.
Mewtwo. Hello.
And then
so
red. Nah, man, it's all good. Red and blue. I would have, whatever game you played, you were that person.
It's like a parallel universe, because Red and Blue aren't two separate characters. They go on the same journey. They just have different Pokemon. But I think in the anime, there's a thing called Pokemon Generations, where I think they try to. It's actually
I did on the Switch. You can watch it on the Switch.
Can you?
Pokemon
it's like
TV.
6 episodes that follows the actual original game. So it's like an anime base. It's so good, so good. Highly recommend.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Beautiful animation, beautiful art. Sorry, Mewtwo. And he says one of the greatest, most fucking beautiful lines in anything at the end of a Pokemon movie. Okay. He's like, I am paraphrasing here, but he makes all the Pokemon clones.
Yeah.
And he does all that. And he's like, at the end, he's like, maybe it is not with what we are born with, but what will we do with our lives that matter. Do you know what I mean? He goes into this really and then Ash is like, I don't give a fuck. Let's capture monsters.
I fucking love that movie. I love that movie so much. I have it on VHS, man. I watched it on VHS a couple of weeks ago, and the nostalgia.
Speaking of villains to my childhood, the fact this is no fucking. I'm not ragging on anyone who does anything else, in terms of voice acting, but changing original Ash's voice actor broke my heart.
When did that happen?
It must have been season 4. The new one, I can't remember her name. She does a great job. She's fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But obviously, voices, your ears become there's a reason people, listen to podcasts or, watch things. A lot of it's audio and a lot of different voices soothe people. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Having a character's voice that you're familiar with, that is great for it calms you down, so when they changed those voice actors, I was like, no. I just stopped watching after that. Even though that's so silly of me, I'm acknowledging that it's a really silly thing to do, but it broke my heart.
I totally get it. It's a big change. It's a huge change.
I probably should have stopped watching Pokemon anyway.
Never stop watching Pokemon.
Well, no, never. I mean, dude, I started rewatching it again on Netflix.
Or just do what I did and watch the same episodes hundreds of thousands of times over and over.
It's nice to have on in the background. Do you know what I mean? It just brings you to the warm, nostalgic, fuzzy place.
Yeah, it does.
Heroes and villains. What else we got?
I've a good one. Street Fighter 2, M. Bison, Balrog, Vega, Sagat. Deadly villains. What are they? Shadow Lore or Shadow Law.
Akuma as well. Akuma's part of that group as well, I think. Yeah.
With the anal beads around his neck, that dude.
Yeah.
Then Ryu, fucking.
Oh my god!
Kyle,
I still fucking feel blood flowing to my pee thinking about Chun-Li. Do you know what I mean? Honest.
Are you talking Kylie Minogue or the anime?
Wait, what? I'm talking about I watched.
Oh no, I'm thinking Cammy. She plays Cammy in the movie.
Oh my god, Cammy
with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
All she wears is a string out her arse. Anyway, but look, they designed those characters. They knew what they were doing. No one had a choice in that matter, but I remember watching the anime for it, and I think obviously somewhere along my lines, thick thighs save lives with Chun-Li, do you know what I mean? Those strong legs got to me. I wanted to be wrapped around and choked out in them, but I remember watching the movie and Vega versus Chun-Li. He was doing this whole thing where he had his Wolverine razor claws, and he was fucking the whole scene. You know how anime goes. Yeah. It's very objectifying. The whole scene, every time she was dodging, he was tearing another bit of clothes off her.
Fucking hell. Would you believe, I feel like I keep bringing this back to videos and VHS, but I literally
go for it.
Just bought that animated movie on video. So good. I'm expecting to be delivered next week.
I really, really liked it.
Yeah, I really liked it. I watched it a couple of years ago. I think I might have had it on DVD, but I can't wait to watch it on VHS. And awful quality. I love it.
Yeah, but do you, actually, out of curiosity, do you like, obviously, like VHS does have like, its worst quality, its worst sound, but is it almost like kind of the scratchings of a vinyl player that it's kind of like it just gives
Yeah,
you that?
yeah,
It's like
absolutely.
your ASMR.
It
Do you know what I
is.
mean?
It
It
is.
is. It's like it's that thing that gives you like that kind of
But it's like playing.
nostalgic warm
It's like
quality.
playing retro video games where people say
Hmm.
the graphics are terrible, they're shit, but
Hmm.
you love them. You love
Yeah,
them
yeah.
for what they are, and I love it's a real specific sound with VHS, and obviously the crackle in the screen, and it is a different quality, but
Hmm.
it's a totally different experience. I think watching
It's
VHS.
VHS counts as analog, right? So it's
I haven't a
like.
fucking clue.
So I think like like DVD is digital, like you know
Right?
what I mean. It's just reading a laser disc, but like a tape is like a mechanic
Yeah,
moving
yeah,
around
yeah.
a piece of tape that's playing it. So I think it's considered like the sound and the tape is
Right.
analog. Although how does the sound work on a VHS?
Jesus, you got
There's
me
two
there.
different. No, it's something interesting about it. I remember. Okay, someone in the comments, would you tell me how the sound works in a VHS? Because I know there's something to do with this. I have a fucking strong one, man.
Go
A
on.
strong villain
Yes.
for almost every video game.
Oh yeah. All right.
Water levels.
You're so fucking right. The villain I never
Oh,
knew.
the villain you
Yes.
never knew, man.
Oh, you're
Water.
so right.
Thinking of the water temple. I'm thinking of the day anxiety was birthed in my tiny heart playing Sonic on the Sega Mega.
Oh.
And your Sonic just there, like, yeah, what's going on, guys? And it's like, dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun, dun. It's like
shit.
5, 4, and he's gasping for bubbles.
Yeah, yeah.
Thinking about Mario dying. The death animation of Mario 64 when he drowns
Oh
is violent.
Holy shit. That is rough. I'm only after thinking about that now. That is fucking.
He's here going,
Jesus, yeah. That's some heavy shit, man. Fuck.
it is. It
Fucking
is.
think back, yeah, that is fucking
Water
hell.
Temple. The water
Yeah.
temple
Oh,
in Ocarina of
God.
Time,
Yeah,
no one
yeah.
likes. I mean, swimming controls in general were always just fucking arse.
Banjo Kazooie, trying to swim in Banjo Kazooie.
Oh, Jesus.
Fucking
I mean,
hell.
but between trying to fly and swim, where would you be?
Yeah,
I
true,
mean,
true.
swimming in a video game is no different from flying. They just take out the water filter, you could be in the air. There's no fucking odds to it at all,
you're
you know?
right, man, you're fucking right. Oh,
So water levels.
right.
That's one of my...
Water levels is a good one. That's very creative. I like that. I would never have thought that. I'm not that creative. Here's a good one. A good villain and a
Uh-huh.
sexy villain as well.
Oh!
Gruntilda.
Dude, I have it on my list.
Yes.
I have it on my list. I would consider Banjo the villain.
Right.
Trying to stop Gruntilda being sexy, to be honest with you. I mean, like, sacrifice your sister for the greater good of everyone everywhere, all right? Put fucking Coco or whatever her name is. I don't know if that's Crash's sister or not. I don't know what her name is. Shove her in the blender, whirl her up, bring on Gruntilda. Banjo is the villain of that
Fucking
game.
love it, yeah. But Gruntilda is deadly though, like really cool. I love the that
Yeah,
shit,
that was a really, really good impression of
Thank you,
Gruntilda,
thank
by
you.
the way. I love the way she's always rhyming as well.
Yeah.
It's like, come with me and you will see diddly fiddly, come yum yum. I don't know, but you know what I mean. It's funny because on stream we were pitting, sexiest video game characters against each other. So we had like Leon versus Chris. We had Jill versus oh my god, Claire. Yeah, we were doing all these. And Sexy Gruntilda and generally just won the whole thing.
I was the one who recommended Sexy Gruntilda, by the way, in that stream.
No way!
Yeah, that was me.
Oh my god! Look at that! We didn't even do a podcast then. We didn't even have a one-to-one conversation.
I was just an adoring fan.
Oh, look at you now! You couldn't give a fuck about it.
Oh god! Yeah, that was me, man. That was a great stream.
Yeah, I must do more stuff like that again. Sometimes it's kind of like, you get into like the things where it's like, oh, we'll just do some random stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like a just chatting stream. They're kind of fun. Yeah, but I think it's good when the time takes it, like when the time is right, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of some other unique villains.
Go for it.
I'm thinking of the traffic in Burnout.
I've never played Burnout.
You've never played Burnout?
No, shit.
Oh my lord, my baby boy. You are missing out on some of the greatest racing experiences of your existence. Burnout 3 Takedown specifically is one of the best arcade racing games I have ever played. multiplayer, anything. So it's like fun, easy controls. You
Mhm.
have boost. Going on the wrong side of the road gets you boost. You have these crazy levels. You can take down other cars by smashing into them, and the physics
Right.
are amazing.
Where's my
I
imaginary
mean,
pen? Hold on, my ASMR pen. I just write this down.
sassy,
Burnout.
sassy.
Burnout 3.
Rate this podcast 5 stars.
Yeah, I will definitely will. I will. What's it on? What consoles on?
GameCube, PS2, Xbox.
Right.
The originals, like those 3 kind of bad boys.
Yeah.
The first Burnout, I'd probably just play Burnout 3 because what
grand.
they do is they just get better on each other. It's not
Right.
like you're missing a story in a racing game. Do you know what I mean? So I would definitely give them a go.
Yeah,
They're
no, I
fucking
will.
brilliant.
I will. I do like a good racing game now. I'm like, I love the likes of Mario Kart, Diddy Kong Racing, stuff like that. Micro Machines. You ever play Micro Machines?
Lego Racers, Micro Machines.
Yeah. On the Sega Mega. I've used to play
Sega Mega, baby. Let's go.
But I used to play Micro Machines on the Sega Mega.
Dude, like out of 5 Sega Megas, how would you rate Micro Machines?
6 Sega Megas.
6 Sega Megas. That's Ultra Sega Mega, man. I love that.
Totally.
Yeah, no, they're great. They're great. I really, really enjoy them.
Samus Aran. I'm just jumping into my head there.
Yeah, you're just bringing in all the sexiest people. Zero. You should have been like specifically Zero Suit Samus.
Does that mean she's wearing no suit? Zero Suit?
It's Zero Suit is where she just has the blue costume on. So if you play Smash Brothers, there's 2 characters. There's Zero Suit and there's Samus. So it's like, and big amazing factor of this, man. Talk about getting my mind blown. So I never knew Samus was a girl.
Right.
So never. And we were always playing. We never, like, by never I mean to the point when I found out. So me and my friend were playing Super Smash Brothers on the N64. Me and my friend, man, this fucking elusive friend, and we used to always pause the game because you had a camera mode, and we were so into seeing all the details on the N64. Man, it was great when you shocked people, and we shocked Samus with Pikachu.
Cool.
And the reason we figured out it was a girl because we saw the silhouette of the person in the suit.
Right.
And it was a female figure, and that was the time we were like, "Holy fuck!"
No way.
Like, absolutely, like finding those things out as a kid, like your own lore, by pausing the game when we shocked Samus with Pikachu and Super Smash Brothers on the N64 when we were like 8. And be like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Samus is great though. They're like one of the more serious Nintendo characters as well.
Yeah. So I actually played through Super Metroid for the first time there at Christmas, and like very difficult game. Well, I found it to be very difficult, but really, really good. And I know so you find out in the original Metroid game, you find out at the end that Samus is a female, and apparently
do you need the special ending for that?
Yeah, I know. Isn't there just like if you complete it without dying or something? She's there with like a bikini on or something. Is that right?
See, it's unfortunate because it's like, here's an empowering female character that you can look up to, and then it's like, well, now she's in a bikini in space. You know, that makes it's like. It's like, there you go, growing, girls of the world,
No, you're right. You're dead right.
Don't get me wrong. Video games. I'm all for the fun of it. You know what I mean? But it was like they didn't have to do her dirty like that at the end.
What a cool hero. And then I think the rival for Samus is Mother Brain, which is like the main of, I think the little alien things are the Metroids, you know,
they're like face hugger
brain things. I think they're called Metroids, and their main leader, whoever, is called Mother Brain. But as heroes go, I think Samus is definitely one of the coolest.
Yeah,
like her
she's amazing.
suit is really
the design, and you know what I love is the Metroid Fusion suit. And the Game Boy Advance, there's kind of like a different color scheme. Metroid Prime was my first real introduction to Metroid. So like a lot of stuff in the GameCube, and that was a scary enough game. Like there was a first person, so it was the first switch to first person. The Metroid Prime is a masterpiece. Like it's always in the top 5 GameCube games usually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, obviously it's a big change going to first person. It becomes like an FPS in a way, like a puzzle FPS.
Yeah.
But fantastic game, really, really good. And it was kind of my first proper introduction to that game as well, and the character. Do you know what I mean? And like, I think think the problem sometimes they get with Nintendo Heroes is sometimes in later games they want to turn it into almost like this anime like story thing where it's like, okay, we're going to give her like, 1,000 lines of dialogue and try and like, it's always nice, I think, in those type of retro characters. What I love about the old villains and stuff is you just project onto them who you want that hero to be. They can still be virtuous, they can still be everything else. Fantastic.
Like the likes of Link, they don't need to have witty, smart dialogue to be the amazing
No,
heroes.
because the story carries it. It's a lot of environmental storytelling, and you can kind of make of what you want. I always like things that give me room to creatively, like I always love the endings in movies that kind of like don't tell you exactly what happens, and you kind of have a bit of imagination to it.
Yeah.
Or I always love kind of things that aren't spoon fed to you. I think that's maybe the best way I like to say it. I don't like ham fisted character. Like it's, and what I'm saying is, if they weren't already, I don't mind if someone wants to tell the story. They want to tell a story like The Last of Us, where the characters are very defined. I still love that.
Yeah.
But I do like in the older games the way there's a lot of mystery. There's a lot of that between everything. And Metroid is a very mysterious game.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I think a lot of the games from the likes of the NES era, the 8-bit era, because they can only give you a tiny little bit of an intro. And like I used to play loads of so many games and not have a clue what I was doing, but I just press start or press any button. And,
yes, I was going to say, man, plug what we're listening to.
Yeah. And then just start playing, like, and I quite like it. I didn't need to have it for back then, for the stories back then, but I quite liked the fact that it almost make you make it up in your head. You know what I mean? You'd be making the story up as you go along. You're like, oh fuck, this guy, because you'd have to. Especially if you rented a game or something and you didn't have a manual, you didn't have a box to look at. You didn't have the internet to look
you were role playing. You were role playing. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have one here that I think is going to be universally known. Probably one of the biggest villains, I would say, in general. We're talking. Imagine you're Mario, you're Luigi, you're Wario, you're anyone. You're driving, down the road. You're in your cart. And all of a sudden you see a blue shell hurtling towards you. Now, and I would like to add on to this, that is the big villain the blue shell, or is the biggest villain in video game history your friends? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Is it the person beside you firing that shell knowing they've tormented and broken your relationship and so on,
Oh yes, I love it. That blue shell is pure evil. Oh man, and then
it's a friendship breaker,
It is, it is. I remember you were playing loads on your stream, playing Mario Kart, and it was every Thursday playing Mario Kart 8, and you'd be like, yes, I'm fucking winning, then boom, last place.
And they talk about like actual screaming going over the line stuff. Do you know what I mean?
That blue shell, that like, did they ever? I was actually looking at something the other day, and you're talking about how they think like, or did they bring out an update where there's like a shield that can block the blue shell because it's such a fucking annihilator?
There is. I think there is the boombox thing in Mario Kart 8 that I think if you have it, I think you can do it. And some very skilled people have figured out if you time the mushroom boost at the right time, so the blue shell hovers around you in a circle, then jumps up and slams down.
Right.
If you get it a microsecond before it slams down and you boost, you can actually avoid it.
No way.
Yeah, it's got a little Pro Strat speedrun thing.
That's not a really fucking clever one, man. You got some really good ones. Shit, I've got some shit ones here.
No, what are you talking about?
I'm only messing, man. Now you've got some good ones. I'm loving it. I'm digging it. You're thinking. You're proper thinking outside the box. I like it.
I have just a super quick list. I'm just going to run through them without going into detail about them. Tom Nook, absolute asshole, taking all your money in Animal Crossings. Dust in your Nintendo 64 cartridges. PS2 red screen of death with that scratch disc that you pray doesn't come on. When you spit on your disc, you're just fucking get a little spit, a little jizz, slap it down on in there, hope for the best to come on in. Red Ring of Death was another one. Zombies in every game ever. Duke Nukem just killing himself. Dante and Virgil as a serious one. Luigi and Boo, Luigi's Mansion, some good ones in there as well.
Nice. That's a good list. Way better than mine, so I'm not even going to read them out.
No, I want to hear your ones quickly. Tell me if anyone's are different, because it's food for thought.
Donkey Kong Country and King K. Rool, I think, is the main bad guy, the big alligator crocodile.
With the guy with the golden belly.
Yeah. Streets of Rage on the Sega Mega, and everyone is the fucking enemy in that game. Yeah, although there is a big enemy. And like Golden Axe, every motherfucker is out there to get you. That's it. I had some other ones, but no, we went out. We hit them all.
I think we had a pretty comprehensive list. I think it was glorious. I think it was slaying. Should we wrap up, I suppose?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Master Chief.
Yeah.
And I didn't even play fucking Halo. I did play Halo once or twice.
Do you want to hear a super secret spoiler for Halo?
Yes.
Obviously, if you haven't played all the Halo games, don't listen now. Cortana as an ultimate villain ends up being a villain, which is wild.
Is that
a sexy AI companion?
Yeah. I think
I
might have
she
played
rogue.
Oh shit! There we go. That was I was thinking of you when I was thinking of Master Chief because I know you're a big Xbox fan and you're a big Halo fan.
I am.
Yes.
Okay, one thing very quickly.
Right.
In the next episode, if you want to leave, so I guess for this question, we're going to be who are your favorite video games, heroes and villains, and why, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll come up with a poll. I'm not sure what yet. But for everyone who's answered questions on the first 3 episodes, I'll get to pinning them. And in episode 5... which will be halfway through our season of 10 episodes. We will read out comments. We'll make some time at the beginning or somewhere or at the end maybe where we'll go through everyone that's commented on something and maybe give it a few minutes just so we can hear your feedback and so your voices are heard as well. With that all said and done, thank you so much for joining on in to another episode of Press Any Button to Continue. I actually had an absolute laugh doing this one. Thanks very much, man.
It was deadly.
If you enjoy the podcast, please give it an old rating if you can. It really helps out. We do this for the passion and love of it. And if you like to see it going, keep it thriving and keep it slaying, it would be greatly appreciated. If you don't like it, that is okay.
Yep, absolutely.
But just don't rate anything. Don't give it 0. Nisha, where can people find your good fine self and where can they find all our socials in general for this podcast?
Right. I can't remember again.
I've
only messed. I have.
Just go Sega Mega.
Just type. Go to segamega.com and we're all there. But if you go onto Twitter, we are at pabtc_podcasts. Press Any Button to Continue _podcast and at Press Any Button Pod on Instagram. And what's the TikTok?
TikTok is Press Any Button to Continue.
Yeah. And then
which I gotta make more videos
on Spotify, Anchor, all that stuff. That's where it all is. You link it up, don't you?
I do, yeah. And also your Instagram is retro_gamer_Ireland.
Yeah, that's it. That's
happy days.
What about you?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Steamy_streamers and Steamy streamers anywhere else. We do actually, Mario Kart is back on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
So if anyone who happens to listen to this wants to join in, Thursdays at around 5 p.m. Irish time, if you want to play some Mario Kart, you're more than welcome to join. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into episode 4, Heroes and Villains and everything else that comes with that. We will see you next week for another episode. Love it, want it, need it. Schley to the hay.
Bye.
Bye.